You're not trapped in your business because you work too hard. You're trapped because you're using the wrong tools. Most entrepreneurs think freedom comes from working harder, hustling longer, grinding through the chaos. Well, that's wrong. Freedom comes from building the right systems. And those systems start with 5 specific tools. I've built a 7-figure business, sold companies, scaled teams. And every single time, the breakthrough didn't come from working more hours. It came from implementing these 5 tools that gave me the leverage over my time, my money, and my sanity. 3 of these you can start using today for free. The 4th one will change how you see your entire business. And the 5th, it's the reason most entrepreneurs stay stuck working in their business instead of on it. If you want to stop being a slave to your own company, these 5 tools are non-negotiable. Let's start with the foundation. If you don't have this, nothing else matters. You need an SOP machine. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure, fancy term for documenting how things are done. And I don't care how small you are, solopreneur, 1 employee, that doesn't matter. If a task gets repeated more than once in your business, it gets documented. Here's why this matters. You're going to grow faster than you can afford to on almost every level. When that happens, you need systems in place so the wheels don't fall off. Now here's the thing. Most people think documentation is this massive, painful process. It's not. You don't need fancy software. Google Drive and Google Docs work just fine. Here's the simplest way to do it. Loom videos. Anytime someone does a task that needs to be documented, they just hit record and walk through it while they're at work. Here's how we onboard a client. Here's how we create an account. Here's how we handle support tickets. They talk through it as they do it. When they're done, they're done. It takes them no more time than just doing the job normally. Then they send that video to someone whose job it is to turn it into a proper SOP. If you're not big enough to hire someone for that part yet, that's fine. AI can handle it, probably better than most people can. You upload the video, it gets transcribed, generates bullet points, and boom, you've got documentation. Even if it's messy, it's better than nothing. Because when you start scaling, you're going to rely on this more than any other tool in your business. This is the foundation. Everything else builds on this. All right, now that you've got documentation on, it's time to eliminate the work entirely. You need an automation mechanism. This is where the magic happens. My preferred tool, Make.com or even NAN. Both are more powerful and flexible than most people even realize. If you're just starting out, Zapier works too. High level, HubSpot, anything that lets you build. If this, then that logic. And here's why this matters. Automation trains you to think in processes. And thinking in processes is one of the most important skills you can develop as a business owner. Because when you understand processes, you can identify what scales and what doesn't. What can be automated and what needs a human touch. What's commoditized? What's your competitive advantage? Let me give you an example. When someone signs up for our email list, here's what happens automatically. They get a welcome email. Then they're tagged in my CRM. If they open the email, they're added to a specific sequence. And if they don't, they're added to a re-engagement campaign. If they click a link, a notification goes to my team. All of this happens without me lifting a finger. And that's just one workflow. You can automate invoicing, follow-ups, onboarding, customer support, data syncing between tools. Literally anything. Now here's the thing. I actually recommend you get into the weeds on this one. Not forever, but at first. Because when you personally build a few of these automation systems, it trains your brain to think in terms of systems. You start seeing opportunities everywhere. You start to think, wait, I'm doing this manually every week? I could automate this. This email gets sent every time X happens. Why am I doing this by hand? Once you develop that process, you'll never go back. You'll start seeing inefficiencies everywhere, and you'll have the tools to fix them. So go play with Make.com or NAN. Spend a day building a few workflows. It'll feel like magic once you see it work. Here's where most people get this wrong. They think an executive assistant is someone who gets you coffee and schedules your meetings. but that's not what an EA does. An EA is your clone, your delegation hub, the person who takes everything off your plate so you can focus on what actually matters. Now here's the key. You don't need to be rolling in money to hire an EA. You can find incredible talent early, especially overseas. Philippines, Latin America, Eastern Europe, those are talented, hungry people who will work for a fraction of what you'd pay domestically. And they'll be better than most people you'd hire locally. I've seen EAs making $1,500 a month who outperformed $80,000 a year employees. Now, here's how you use an EA correctly. You delegate everything to them. Not just the stuff you don't want to do, everything. Because here's the secret nobody tells you. Your EA won't be good at everything, and that's the point. If you delegate 10 tasks to your EA, expect them to suck at 2, at 6, and absolutely crush 2. Those 2 things they crush, that's where you find your next hire. Your EA is an incubator role. It's how you test talent across every part of your business without committing to full-time hires you might not need yet. And eventually, yeah, AI will replace a lot of this. But right now, for the next few years, this is a human role, and it's one of the most important hires you'll ever make. And if you don't know where to start, take a personality assessment. If you find potential EAs, have them take the test as part of the application process. Most of these assessments help you understand what personalities pair well together. Either way, you need to prioritize hiring an EA as soon as possible. It's the leverage point that changes everything. All right, now we're getting into tools most entrepreneurs ignore, and that's why they stay broke. You need a KPI dashboard. One screen, updated daily, that shows you exactly where your business stands. Here's what needs to be on it. Revenue, CAC, LTV, cash on hand, runway. That's it, 5 numbers. You should be able to glance at this dashboard every morning and know exactly where you stand. Are you making money or losing money? Are you acquiring customers profitably? How long can you survive if revenue stops today? Most entrepreneurs fly blind. They think they know the numbers, but they don't. They're guessing, estimating, operating on intuition. And then 6 months later, they're scrambling because they ran out of cash and didn't see it coming. Your dashboard is your early warning systems. It tells you when to hit the gas, when to pump the brakes, when to pivot. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at my dashboard and realized, oh, we're burning way too much and need to cut costs. Or, wait, our LTV just went up. We can afford to spend more on acquisition. Without that visibility, you're just guessing. And guessing is how businesses die. So, build your KPI dashboard. Use Google Sheets if you have to, Excel, Notion, whatever. Just get those 5 numbers in one place, updated daily, where you can find them at a glance. This is non-negotiable. All right, final tool. And this one's the difference between businesses that grow and businesses that stay stuck. You need a CRM with pipelines. A CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, but really it's your sales operating system. Here's what it does. It tracks every lead, every opportunity, every renewal. It shows you where each deal is in your pipeline. It automates follow-ups so nothing falls through the cracks. And most importantly, it prevents you from losing deals to disorganization. It doesn't matter what you pick. It can be a paid tool or even a compilation of Google Sheets and API calls connecting to Make or wherever. Here's why this matters. Every lead that comes in gets logged, automatically tagged, assigned to a pipeline stage. And if they don't respond, an automated follow-up goes out. If they book a call, it syncs to your calendar and it triggers a pre-call email. If they go quiet, a reminder pops up to re-engage them. All of this happens automatically. And you can see at a glance exactly where every deal stands. How many leads came through in a week, how many moved to the next stage, how many closed. This is how you scale sales without losing your mind. Because you can't grow if you're constantly wondering, wait, did I follow up with that person? Did I lose that deal? Your CRM handles all of that for you. And when you combined it with your KPI dashboard, now you've got a complete picture. You know how much it costs to acquire a customer, you know their lifetime value, you know exactly how many deals are in your pipeline, and you know how many you need to close to hit your revenue goals. This is how you run a real business. Not on hope, not on hustle, on systems. So let's bring this home. If you want to stop being a slave to your business, you need these 5 tools. 1. SOP machine. Document every repeated process. Use Loom videos. Let AI organize it. 2. Automation mechanism. Make.com, NAN, Zapier. Automate everything you can. Build a process mind. 3. Executive assistant. Your clone, your delegation hub. Hire early, especially overseas. This is your incubator for future leaders. 4. KPI dashboard. 1 screen. 5 numbers. Revenue, CAC, LTV, cash, runway. Know where you stand on every single line every day. 5. CRM and pipelines. Track every lead opportunity and renewal. Automate follow-ups. Never lose a deal to disorganization. These 5 tools give you automation so you're not doing everything manually. Visibility so you know your numbers at all times. Delegation so you're not the bottleneck. Sales systems so you'll never lose deals. Documentation so your business can run without you. This isn't theory, this is how I've built and scaled multiple businesses. And it's how you're going to do it too. So pick one tool, implement it this week, then move to the next one. Within 90 days, your business will look completely different. Drop a comment down below and tell me which tool you're implementing first. Now stop grinding, start building systems. But first, a quote I want to share with you. Systems run the business and people run the systems.